This is my first time watching a David Lynch film, and I was saying, what the hell? Every 45 seconds, in a good way and in a bad way. During this throwback review, I'm going to help you discover why. College student Jeffrey Beaumont returns home after his father has a stroke. When he discovers a severed ear in an abandoned field, Beaumont teams up with a detective daughter, Sandy Williams, to solve the mystery. They believe beautiful lounge singer Dorothy Vallens may be connected with the case, and Beaumont finds himself becoming drawn into a dark, twisted world where he encounters sexually depraved psychopath Frank Booth. This movie is a noir murder mystery with a hint of surrealism spread throughout the film, and I've never seen that combination before, so it was a welcome change. This film plays like a standard murder mystery. The protagonist finds the ear in the fields. He starts finding different clues and trying to lead to the mystery that's going on that involves a murder, and the story kind of plays out like that. And he starts discovering the dark secrets that lie beneath his white picket town. And where the what the hells come from is the way they depicted the thin line between love, lust, and violence. The main character becomes a vessel, the POV, an avatar, as you would say, for the viewer to witness all the dark and crazy things that can happen in a suburban area. Crooked cops, kidnapping, sexual assault. There's some really depraved and messed up things that happen throughout the film, but the way it was focused on was creepy and super surreal. Jeffrey, played by MacLachlan, is like a blank slate. He's a character that's a young kid just coming from college because a family member fell ill, and he's very innocent. He thinks that the white picket fence area that he lives in is how the world is, at least how his area is. And he gets tangled in this darkness and keeps diving deeper and deeper as he finds more clues to lead to who murdered the person he found ear from. The ear leads him to Dorothy, the lounge singer that I talked about in the description of the film, who was really great in the film overall. And because his obsession with figuring out this mystery and figuring out what's going out, he starts dipping into the darkness and leads him into not only imitating like a worker to come fix pipes and stealing her keys, so then later come and break into the house and kind of look like a peeping Tom and a voyeur a little bit in this particular scene. But he ends up witnessing a sexual assault, which one of the weirdest depictions of one, because this character Frank Booth is super unhinged. And the following interactions between Jeffrey and Dorothy are very, very odd to me. She finds him in the closet and she threatens him with a knife, even pokes him in the face, and then there's this lustful connection that begins to come together. And she is deep into the darkness and stuck because the one that is without the heir is her husband, and they have kidnapped her kid, and this guy Frank Booth is blackmailing her, saying, I'll kill your kid and kill your husband if you don't let me come in and do whatever I want with you. It's so messed up, and it's so deranged the way it's filmed and how it focuses so much on it, and just the weird things that he chooses to do in the film. It just took me off guard. And this lets Jeffrey, snoop around her house and figure out what is going on, seeing pictures on under the couch showing the kid, and listening to conversations that she had on the phone when he was hiding in the closet. And he figured out what's going on, and he feels sympathy for her. And the sympathy turns into kind of a lustful feeling, and maybe he feels like he's in love with her, but she feels like she's in love with him. And it's just a weird relationship that I couldn't fully go on board with, but I understand what the plot was going for. It was just really just out of this world. While all this is happening, he's falling in love with the detective's daughter that he brought this information to in the first place, played by Dern, who was fantastic in the film. And it becomes this love triangle that's spread throughout the film, which is another layer to it. It's the noir crime thriller, the weird voyeurism to the lust and violence that's in the film. And then this kind of innocent love affair that he's having with her. And all those combinations of different things are three different plot points that he's just in the middle of all of them, and he's dealing with each of those things in different ways. What they did here in the film is have Dorothy be kind of the representation of the darkness that's in his town, and then Sandy, who's played by Lauren Dern, be the representation of the innocence, not knowing what's really going on, the white picket fence that they advertise in this era, and him kind of choosing which world he wants to really be in. And one of my community members commented on a post that I made about people asking questions, and his name Dom Walker. Go check out his channel, his YouTube channel. He's great. He asked me to comment on Frank Booth's performance, and Dennis Hopper was absolutely insane in this movie.
Hey, you want to go for a ride?
No thanks.
No thanks. What does that mean?
I don't want to go.
Go where?
For a ride.
A ride. Hell, that's a good idea. Okay, let's go.
Frank Booth was the villain of this movie, and he's unhinged, animalistic. All the childish and crazy desires you have without having the wherewithal in your head to know that things are wrong, he just acts on. If he feels like hitting you, he's gonna hit you. If he feels like making you take a ride, you're gonna take a ride. If he feels like molesting you, he's gonna do that. It's just, he just does things that are just absolutely terrible, and I just was just like, couldn't believe how detailed and how long a lot of the scenes of what he was doing was being played for.
What kind of beer do you like?
Heineken.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Some of the central themes in this film, outside of the murder mystery and what they were doing there, the simplistic part of the film, is the themes that Lynch was infusing throughout this. It feels like he was poking at the Reagan era, how he was trying to promote this white picket fence to America, but he's showcasing all the darkness and ugliness that's happening beneath. The opening shot is of Jeffrey's father watering his garden. His mom is in the room, and it's all this sereneness, happiness. Feels kind of like a dream. They're showcasing flowers and all these different things, but you see the mom watching something violent on TV, a TV show that's showing a violent act and how we get entertainment out of that. While outside, the father has, I don't know if it was a heart attack, a stroke, or what happens to him. He falls on the floor, and as they show him his body on the ground, they zoom in on under the leaves that he was just watering and show like a bunch of ants burying in the darkness, there. And it kind of has that metaphor of what the movie's theme is. And that's showcasing what, the ideal and what is under the surface and darkness is there. And he's also talking about the illusion of entertainment, how we get so involved in it and think that, oh, this is just on TV, but it's really things that are happening in real life. And we find entertainment in the moment, and sometimes we find entertainment in the real version of it when it's not happening to us, but we shun it and act like it's not there when we're not involved. The ultimate part of this is when Dorothy is performing in the nightclub, and Frank Booth, Jeffrey, Sandy are all there watching her, and everyone's mesmerized by her performance. Even the unhinged, insane, crazy, huffing on random things and kissing people on the lips when they don't want to be kissed on the lips, and putting on lipstick and all these weird things he was doing in the movie. He was like sterile. He was calm. He was happy. For that moment, the entertainment just made everyone the same. And it's crazy how that moment was kind of a turning point where it kind of motivated each character to push forward. Jeffrey going like, I'm definitely going to go do this and find the secrets and solve this murder, help this lady out and figure out what is going on. Because a lot of times he was questioning why the world was the way it was. And then Sandy was just like, I really want to be with Jeffrey. That was kind of her full focus and making sure he was safe. But I feel like for Frank, it really was just like, I want her. That's what was going through his head after seeing that, and that was just crazy. And on the production side, I think that they incorporate all those themes in a really great way, and had a really voyeuristic way of filming the film. It felt like we were watching a lot of weird things like that we weren't supposed to be a part of throughout, and it really did create a surreal feeling. While the murder mystery aspect wasn't the strongest, but it was there enough where it kept the movie entertaining. The editing of this film really kind of hurt my experience of watching the movie. The beginning, middle, and end of the film, there are different parts of the film that has these jump cuts where something crazy happens, and then Jeffrey has to deal with what it makes him feel like, because he's battling with, kind of getting closer to the darkness. There's a point where he starts sleeping with Dorothy, and she gets a rise out of getting hit, and he doesn't want to do it, but then he eventually does it, and he sits down after the day after and trying to deal with it. But that scene doesn't last for too long, and there's multiple scenes throughout the movie where they start a scene and it feels like it's supposed to be like an emotional thing or something that you're supposed to pay attention, and then you just cut away and go to the next one, and they don't tie into each other. So it was kind of choppy, and it felt like he was more focused on showing you the danger and the darkness and the nastiness, and letting no scenes breathe. But the scenes that were a little bit more wholesome, he was like, I don't even know this part. So it was just really, really weird. It was a crucial part that I really wish that they like expanded upon. Laura Dern's character Sandy asks Jeffrey, why are you doing this? Why are you so motivated to do this? And he never really gave an answer in that moment. And that was the moment for me to really like attach to his character and root for him. But he didn't answer. So the whole time I was just like, why is he doing this? Why is he putting himself in danger this whole time for no reason? Go call the cops. You found enough evidence to stop it. But they never gave us that. It was kind of keeping him in like this blank state so that we can kind of feel it, but I never did. I was just like, this is weird the whole time. So I wish they really gave his character that characterization. And I might be looking at this through a 2023 lens, but the way the assault was depicted in kind of this dark, humorous, weird, surrealist way didn't fully sit right with me. And that was a scene that felt like it lasted really long. It just didn't sit right with me because, you know, Jeffrey's just watching and not doing anything. And then also Isabella Rossellini, the actor that played Dorothy, she was doing such a great job with what she was given, but I felt like the performance she was given wasn't being upheld by with her character and what the plot was doing. She was kind of pushed to the side a lot of the times, and I really wish she had more and she was more involved in the action and not just affected by what the men want. Community member Frisky one asked me, what do I feel like the first scene meant and the last scene meant, and how they are different from each other. And obviously you can see I already talked about the first scene, but the last scene, or the completion of the last scene, is Jeffrey choosing Sandy, having that idealistic light and being in the brightness and kind of just ignoring the darkness and leaving it alone after he went through so much crap in this movie. And Dorothy, kind of the one that went through the most in the film, finally getting her son and being happy, but there's a moment where you see the sadness in her face because she can't forget what she went through, and she still also lost her husband, and just that duality of like so many people who are damaged and then just left to the wayside and no one chose her. So I think that's kind of what I got from the ending of the film and how that was. He picked the ideal life and left the darkness alone, and she was left alone to kind of just deal with everything that she just went through by herself. And those points ended the movie strongly for me. I think that with a strong ending, it could make a movie really memorable. I think this movie, I knew I didn't love it, but I knew that it was really well made and had a message. I just didn't know why I didn't love it. And I had to do some research and looking into the film, the themes and everything like that. I really understood what was going for the film, but I just think the way the message was delivered and kind of the weird surrealist humor, it just didn't work for me personally. But I could see the people loving this film, and I know a lot of people do. So with that said, I think this movie is a really solid film. I can see why people think it's a classic, but just for me personally, it's something that I just think is just really good. So I'm going to give it a C+. Zack Attack Nation, did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate Blue Velvet? And if you haven't seen it yet, are you going to check it out based on my review? Thank you for voting for this Throwback Thursday film. It was really, really fun checking this out because it was so weird. And I want to know all your comments down below about all the theories, your favorite characters, your favorite moments, how you feel about certain scenes that I talked about in my review in total. Hit that like button, let YouTube know what you like in this video and get it popping. Attack that subscribe button and hit the notification bells to be notified of my reviews, reactions, live discussions, join this growing community, and you can watch more of my content right now.